Today we're going to talk about finding primary sources in our library databases. The first thing you're going to do is go to macinvia.com and you're going to log in. Remember that you do have to choose your school, and then you're going to use your regular ID number and password. Once you're here, you're going to select on databases over here on the left. One of the best ones to use for finding primary sources is called EBSCOhost. So I'm going to scroll down to the E's and I'm going to go to EBSCOhost. Once I'm there, I'm going to select EBSCOhost Web. You can select any of the databases you want to. And now you're ready to search. The cool thing about EBSCOhost is you can actually choose the document type. So if you scroll down, you can choose primary source if it's available. So for example, under publication type, I choose primary source. And then I'm going to continue to look at these, choosing it anywhere that it's listed. It's asking me to choose parameters for each of the different databases, which is why I'm clicking on it in so many different places. Once I've selected the primary sources and all of the different publications, I'm ready to do my search. So let's say, for example, that my topic is World War II, and I'm looking for publication types of primary sources in World War II. So I'm going to go back up to my search bar, and I'm going to type in World War II and search. It's going to pull up with results that are just primary sources. You can see I still have quite a few because I wasn't able to choose primary source for some of them. If I go over here to source types, you can see I can select primary sources again and click update, and it will weed out any that came through on databases I wasn't able to change the publication type. So now I have 631 results that are all primary sources from World War II. Another database you can get primary sources in is ABC Clio. ABC Clio is specifically a history database. So I'm going to click open. And I'm looking for either world history or American history because they're both, or American government, because I'm looking up information on World War II. And so those would be likely databases that information would be in. And then I can do search. Now you'll notice that unlike EBSCOhost, it does not let me choose primary source from my first search. So I do my search, and then I determine which database to look in based on the results. So I'm going to go to the World History Modern Era one because there's more results there. Over here on the left, I can now select what kind of document. So you're going to select the documents that are types of primary sources. For example, speeches are primary sources. Letters or narratives are primary sources. And newspapers and magazines can be primary sources depending on the timeliness that it was produced. Political, government, and court documents can be primary sources. So then I'm going to hit filter, and it's only going to keep those particular types of documents for me. And then I can look at those and use the ones that are primary sources from the correct time frame. Another one that's good for primary sources is Gale. So I'm going to scroll down to Gale and click open. You can see this is G-A-L-E, Gale General OneFile. This one works much like ABC Clio in that you cannot go ahead and select primary source like I did in EBSCO. You're going to have to select the types of sources that would qualify as primary sources. So I'm going to go ahead and do my World War II search. And then I can narrow it down over here on the right by type of content to make sure that I'm going to get those primary sources. So for example, I'm going to open up that document type, and I can look at things like a transcript to see what was discussed or what came over the radio. Again, you're going to need to look at the timeliness on that to see if it happened after the fact or during the fact to make sure it's a primary source. Personal account would be a primary source, so I could click on that one. A press conference would be a primary source as long as it's happening during the time period in which it was written. So things I wouldn't choose are things like critical essay. Essays are written after the fact. That's a secondary source. I'm not going to choose, for example, a review. Again, that happens after the fact, and it's a secondary accounting of the original. So you need to choose actual items that are primary sources under document type. So now you've seen how to find primary sources in 3 of the best databases that Frisco ISD has: EBSCO, ABC Clio, and GEL. I would suggest you start with EBSCO since they do have that primary source option instead of you having to select every type of document that could be considered a primary source. But ABC Clio and GEL also have some extremely useful information, and it would be worth your time to look there for some primary sources as well. As always, if you have questions about research, you are welcome to come see me in the library, and I will go through this and talk with you and help you find some of those primary sources. Good luck, guys.